I do in a week, to be honest with you. It's nice to talk to you guys. It was my everything gets preempted by family shit though. My 2-year-old turned 3 yesterday, so we couldn't do it yesterday, and then I can't remember why we couldn't do it on Tuesday, but I'm certain it was one of my children's fault that day also. So nice to be back here with you guys. Not a ton of Seattle sports news. We're in like a slow period of Seattle sports news, and I did change the graphic to not just say Mariners pitching struggles.
Hey, that's cool.
We're
You
back.
could just reuse the graphic the whole
I
time.
know. I came very close to doing it. This is and the very funny Mike Hansen. Or very handsome Mike Hansen. Not certainly not funny.
Yeah.
He's a comedian friend of ours. Anyways, I do have an embarrassing, not quite sports related story though. This guy has become kind of the comedian face of the Seattle sports scene. Dustin Nickerson posted a clip from his podcast meant to be funny, which was he went to a concert as a 40-year-old man and he took a picture of it. I think he took the picture of three men all unrelated to each other standing all with the same like old man Adidas shoes. And he goes, and this is the shoe it is. It's like a $37 shoe at Costco. And I went, shit, Costco has Adidas for $37, and they're like literally before this podcast started, I just got a notification that they're on their way, baby.
Yes,
UPS
sir.
is bringing them to me. I'm 40. It's over. I haven't made a sexy shoe choice in 2 decades, but it's officially over.
Do you have a pair of dudes?
Mm-mm.
Dudes.
Have you?
Shoes?
Are they Hey Dudes? I think they're called Hey Dudes.
Hey, dude. Maybe, yeah.
My father-in-law has a bunch of those. Do they make them in wide sizes? This is my constraint: is I have to get stuff that comes in wide sizes.
They make them
Fuck
in
you,
mega
fuck you.
sizes.
Is that a secretly
Well.
MAGA company?
No, but every guy, it's just pretty much a one for one. You know these shoes, Andrew? They're like loafers. You slip them on, and they look like fabric, kind of. Hey, dudes, he's looking it up right now. You've seen them, but yeah. Anyway, we will get into all these topics, of course, but I think it's funny that none of us were like even mentioned the World Cup as an option, even though it's
Yeah, true. Well,
Seattle and,
have you watched the World Cup? Because I was gonna go. There was a point at this we were talking about going, and it didn't come to fruition on either of the games for me. I still
Just
have
so
a
you- Go ahead.
yeah, I still have a little bit of hope that one of these games that are at Lumen Field or Seattle, whatever they're calling it, Seattle Field.
I call it Seattle Field.
Yeah. That I'll get a chance to go at like a semi-reasonable price, but yeah, for now, I have not attended a World Cup game. I did watch 100% of the first 2 games
Right.
and
Okay.
enjoyed it. But do you like soccer? Because I enjoy watching soccer, but that's like an acquired taste for me.
Just when it matters. I'm like Olympics similar of like I'm not watching swimming on the weekend, but I'll get into it during the
Not
Olympics.
legally anyway.
Corey loves the Speedos.
Did I ever tell you that volleyball story? Oh my god, it's a quick version. Performing in Tri-Cities, I say, hey, is there a park that's like on the beach? And they go, there sure is. It's this park. I take a drive there. There's volleyball nets up. There's a big crowd. There's nobody on the courts. I go, how about this? We got a volleyball tournament. Set up my towel, my chair, get my shirt off, throw some sunscreen on, lather that up, and 4 preteen girls come trotting out on the volleyball court, and I go, well, let's wrap this all up and get home. Which
Oh,
one's
man,
yours? Anyway.
You used to be my teacher. We moved. Oh, God. No.
I did
You
a show
follow
in
me
Spokane. I did a show in Spokane in a hotel ballroom, and there were like 6 audience members, and then 5 like probably the same girls that were at this preteen volleyball thing. It was like a cheerleading conference going on at the hotel, and it's like 13 or younger. I don't know how old, but like it. Also, the older you get, the younger people look. So an 18-year-old to me looks like a 13-year-old, but they they came and I'm like, I don't have enough material at this point in my life to even do 45 minutes clean. So I'm just going to backload all the dirty stuff and hope that they leave before then and they stay. And then one of their dads even comes in and he's like, what are you guys doing? And they go, it's comedy night. Leave us alone, Dad. And I'm like, take him, Dad. Please take him. And then I did I got to the dirty stuff and it was like, tried to clean it as much as possible. Bombed the whole set. Everyone was uncomfortable with this conversation occurring in front of 5 13-year-old girls. And then one of them bought a shirt for me after. And I'm like, I don't even know. Can I take this money? It's like taking your parents' credit card.
Is
like
your allowance.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Really surprised also that your
Disallowance.
material didn't walk the rest of the audience first, but
It was just you and the preteen girls
Yeah.
at the end.
It's an Andrew Rivers fever dream.
hey, speaking of shoe shopping, as an old man, I sent a reel in the group chat if you want to play that on the stream. It's like a
Christ.
quick 15-second hitter.
Let's see if I
It's a
can
good
figure out how
one.
to do this.
See if you
Yeah.
can somehow.
While you're
screen
figuring that
share.
out, NBA news. We got 2 NBA topics for Seattle sports.
Yeah, that's good.
Podcast that doesn't
That's
have
good.
a team, but
For a city with no NBA team yet, it's
But-
coming.
let's do it. Giannis traded.
Let me look
I
up the
saw
full details of this
the
too.
funniest joke not funniest joke, but one of the jokes was a picture of Tyler Hero and it's like, nah, we traded Giannis for that kid from Stranger Things. That chick from Stranger Things. Pretty funny.
Oh, that's funny.
Tyler Hero. All-star, huh? Right? No? Oh.
Okay, so this is, fingers crossed, this is going to work. Tell me if you guys even hear audio on it. This is what Andrew sent us.
Person with these things in mind. They can see the words revealed. It's the only real thing that I've got left to feel. Just stuck, hollow and alone, and the fault is my own, and the fault is my own. I wanna feel what I thought. Not the only
Hey,
person
got New
with
Balance.
these things in mind. But all they
Same
can
look.
see the words revealed.
That's
It's
the
the only real thing that I've got left to feel.
It's just the whole podcast is that now.
just
On repeat.
Um,
Oh, you made it
there
better.
we go. There we
Okay.
go.
Yeah, how are those like Mervyn's and there's Mervyn's doesn't exist anymore. JCPenney and they all have the name brand, but it's like a worse version of the, you know what I'm saying? Like
I
those
literally
aren't
have
real.
no idea what you're talking
Oh,
about.
those Nikes that he was looking at on the shelf are a cheaper, worse version of the Nike, like the actual Nike,
Like a dunk or something.
Ones
Yeah.
or
Got
whatever.
you.
How
I'm
are
like
they
so
allowed?
not clued in to any of that stuff.
Sure.
I like I
Like,
said,
if
I
you
have
go
wide
to-
feet. So I wear New Balances exclusively because that's like one of few companies that make wide shoes now.
Interesting. Well, like Fred Meyer, if you go to Fred Meyer and you see a pair of like Chuck Taylors, they're going to be a shittier version of Chuck Taylors. They aren't like the official
Gotcha.
original that you would get off the
Don't
website.
bring those to your sneaker
I don't know how
convention.
they do that or why they do that. But Famous Footwear, like they do the same thing. It's all the
Oh,
shittier
really?
versions of the.
didn't
Yeah, they
know
aren't
that.
the main. They aren't the like actual.
They should call it less famous footwear.
There it is. All right, Giannis.
So Giannis gets traded to the Miami Heat.
Mhm.
Giannis is like, to this point, it's been his whole career in Milwaukee. This is going to be an adjustment when we get the NBA back. That's kind of because when we loved the NBA, you were like, I remember being heartbroken when Gary Payton got traded to the Bucks, and I obviously like the Ray Allen. We don't have as much time with Ray Allen, but like Sean Kemp getting traded, also heartbreaking. The same way like Ken Griffey Jr. getting traded was heartbreaking. I think we kind of I got desensitized to that kind of stuff as a kid a little bit, but I don't even think you have the right to be heartbroken about that anymore if you're a knowledgeable NBA fan, because like I was trying to think, is Kobe the last superstar to play his whole career in one city? I thought it could end up being Giannis. I don't really, the model for NBA players now is to like assemble a super team in a city, drain that talent base and bank account dry, and then move on to another city and start that process somewhere else, as opposed to like staying and rebuilding and creating a dynasty in one of those cities. And I am actually curious, like, are there other stars that I'm not thinking of besides Kobe to spend their whole career in one city? Also, is this an even more boomer conversation than this shoe conversation we just had? Like, is this...
I can't think. I think you're right about Kobe being the last superstar to do that. I mean, I don't know.
Steph
Good, bad.
Curry.
Steph
Curry's a great.
currently,
Yeah, that's a great one. Actually, good call. Steph, and I mean, I'm not saying he's a star, but Draymond has like some star power at least. Like Draymond has stayed his whole career there. That's a great point. And it seems like those guys are going to end up finishing their careers there, obviously after multiple championships. So riding off into the sunset through mediocrity doesn't feel as bad, I'm sure.
Right.
Can you blame Giannis for requesting a trade? I mean, do you want to play with Dame Lillard, who's a shell of... I mean, they didn't really build a competitive team the last couple of years. Now, maybe that's partly his fault because he was pushing them and demanding moves when there's only... You know, we talk about building a team like people criticize the Mariners for certain moves, and it's like there's not a lot of options sometimes of players willing to come to your team, players that are available for the price of what you can offer, whether not even salary cap, but trade or stuff that makes sense for building the future. I mean, the Bucks like franchise their future for Dame Lillard, and then he blew out his Achilles the next day. So not that Dame at 47 years old with his Nike Air Pegasus was going to do much, but
sure. Well, that's actually, I think kind of your point is like, do I blame Giannis? I don't blame anybody ever for taking the most amount of money they can get, but I do think it's like, and also I don't necessarily know. I've always just viewed Giannis as this kind of like stoic, like just like a great example of what NBA players should be. And I'm not saying he's not that, but in this case, he's like just fell short of what my probably unfair expectations were. But where you're like, it's kind of a prison of his own making, right? Like the team is bad and they can't afford to acquire talent because, like you said, they did everything they could to acquire Dame Lillard, and they are trying to win a championship in the short term, which means they have to mortgage everything in the future. So because of that, he's left in this pile of rubble of what was a team, but he was the one that made it into the rubble. So it's like, it's a little bit like, and I kind of worry, by the way, like this is the MLB Players Association, and obviously Major League Baseball are negotiating right now. And we see these like kind of 1998 NBA lockout things starting to get talked about, like max deals, and obviously a salary cap and maximum lengths of contracts that I think are a thing that in baseball they made it so that smaller market teams could leverage, like the Mariners signed Colt Emerson to this 8-year deal, and teams are signing guys to 10, 12, 13-year deals before they've ever had a chance to taste free agency. And smart teams can use this flexibility. And in basketball, it's just like the talent acquisition model is broken, is what it seems like to me. And the talent retention model is even more broken. Like you can't keep your guys. That's the reality, is you just can't keep your guys. And as we get a new NBA team, it's going to be hard for me to adjust as an old man to this new model where you get a star, first overall pick, second overall pick, you get an international player that you get to hold on to and do whatever you do to make him into a star. All the stars align and you have an absolute superstar, and you're like, okay, the countdown is on. Like you have to, and it's not even like, it's like a given. Like, why are the Hornets that traded LaMelo Ball? It's
they just traded him to Minnesota.
Because of course, because everybody trades everybody. Like nothing's nailed down, and that's like it's going to be a difficult adjustment to be like, because it's not that I'm not aware that it happens. And obviously in Seattle, before all this was the norm, we saw all of our stars traded away. But like we had the right to be mad about it because it used to be that players were a little more loyal to and were expected to be a little more loyal to the team that they came up with. And that seems like nobody gives a shit about it at all anymore.
Yeah. Well, and like, the Giannis trying to get Dame Lillard. I mean, we're kind of connecting to the Northwest. I guess what they had to trade Drew Holiday, who's like arguably a better player right now than Dame Lillard, who ends up in Portland, playing for Portland this year and helping them get to the play, like being their main ball handler, gets them to the playoffs without Dame, who sat out the whole year in Portland, and will come back next year with the new coach. We'll get to the Blazers, I guess, and then. Right. And then now, okay. But then now, has there been a successful, like, there was that little run where we had like super teams where, you talked about having 3 superstars and it worked twice basically. And then I think the trend was to try and make it keep working, but it hasn't worked since. And, the teams that are good are built like deep. They, defend. They like, so is now Miami is a better situation because it's better franchise. It's a better coach. Although Doc
Eric
Rivers, I was
Spoelstra's
surprised. Spoelstra's still there, yeah.
Okay.
I was surprised Doc couldn't do well a little better in Milwaukee, but it's him and Bam right now, and Jaime Jacques was one of the traded players. Tyler Hero was traded.
Like 3 first-round picks.
First-round picks that are, I believe, swaps. 4 first-round picks and 3 of them are swaps, as opposed
or
to
a 33-year-old guy whose main skill is physicality, who's been injured half the last 2 seasons.
It could be interesting. I mean, I don't know that. I mean, it's a better situation.
I mean, if you get, him and Bam Adebayo.
Adebayo, okay.
Naga,
Not gonna work here anymore.
naga.
I mean, they technically have some of the same skill set, and so I'm curious if you just surround 2 giant monsters with a bunch of random 3-point shooters. And they seem to play transition basketball where it's fast paced and run and gun. Maybe they don't, if you score more on offense, your defense gets better, all those things. But I don't know. You got to do something. So I get it. Miami wasn't going anywhere on their own unless they could play the Washington Wizards every game. So, I respect both the moves. I also don't know about paying 18 first-round picks for the guy, but, if I was a Miami fan, I'd be celebrating because it makes the short, it might be better to just blow up the future, and if this doesn't work out, then it's easier to kind of rebuild. You get the cycle with over faster, maybe.
The Warriors,
I think that's
should have done
possible.
that or something, instead of like every year they go with the Warriors, are they contenders again? And every year it's like, well, no, it's that past 5 years ago probably. And I mean, LaMelo, that's an interesting. I mean, we have to get too into it, but Minnesota makes some trades, and then they go, all right, well, Naz Reid is now going to be their starter instead of Julius Randle, and the city loves Naz Reid, and they're like, all right. Naz Reid's their guy, and then the next day they trade him for LaMelo, and so now they have 2 backcourt stars who, need the ball in their hands quite a bit. LaMelo can distribute, obviously, but
and LaMelo wasn't winning. I mean,
so
Charlotte was not a
win.
good team, so
they
and he's driving his Ferrari and hitting kids in the sidewalk, and I don't know.
Let's talk about something bad he's done at least.
Him and Brandon Ayuk can carpool together, and
these are just things that I'm very much worried about when the time comes. Dude,
yeah,
Ayuk's not in Minnesota. What are you talking about? You're thinking of Juwan Jennings.
Well, I was just joking about. He's been trending for all of his nonsense, and
the NFC West outside of Seattle, it feels like each team has someone imploding completely. I mean, Kyler Murray imploded so far. He was a 5'9" guy that got traded or got released and sent to. He's in Minnesota also, but yeah, I don't know. It's just this is one of those things where when I check in on the NBA for stuff like this, it's like I remember how crazy it seemed to me that teams would trade for expiring contracts. Like that was such a, like that to me represented such an anti-competitive way. Like to me that was like the system's broken when you're like, this guy who's not going to be here is more valuable to me than this guy that's here, that will be here. And that means that I should trade for him. That was like a weird situation. We haven't seen that a ton in baseball. I'm sure we'll start to see it as time goes on. We see rentals, but when they trade for rentals, it's because that guy's going to be valuable in a short period, right?
Yeah.
Let's trade Rob Refsnyder for 3 first-round picks. His expiring contract. We just gotta.
My memory is like very much Bonzi Wells, I believe, got traded as one of those guys that was like an expiring contract, and that makes him worth like gold because the team doesn't have to. Because maybe they'll be able to sign. The whole system's fucked in the NBA, and it's going to just be so hard to adjust to it. And that's one thing I'm worried about. We don't need to belabor this too long. The Giannis trade is so monumental to sports that I thought it was worth talking about and how it's going to make us look at the NBA differently. But your boy down in Portland, Cory, can you explain this a little better than I can?
Maybe I'll try. But Chauncey Billups gets arrested or whatever and charged and suspended, maybe officially fired at some point, I assume.
He tried to enter the NFL supplemental draft.
The interim head in that, the betting scandal, and the interim head coach was Tiago Splitter, who was an assistant, ends up doing very, very well, takes them to the playoffs. Play-in and then the playoffs. They win one game, are relatively competitive to the eventual champs. Not the eventual conference champs. And it looks to me like I would think like it'd be an immediate hire. Was sort of my thought, and then I don't follow it closely. So yesterday, when I see that one of the top assistants ends up being hired as the new coach for the Blazers. I always get his name wrong.
Ted Lasso of the NBA.
Nori. So he gets hired, and he's been looking. He's been the top assistant for a few years, trying to find a head coaching job. I was surprised, so I went and looked, and I was like, man, that's really controversial. But it was because Splitter had already been hired by the Bulls as their new head coach, and so that's just sort of interesting. I don't know his contract off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up. I don't know it at all. But he, probably chose more money and moves on, or doesn't want to be a part of the Blazers organization. He was beloved.
This is what we talked about on a thing earlier. Is that they were lowballing this new owner of the Blazers is a cheap bastard who doesn't want to pay for anything, and he only offered him one guaranteed year.
That's what Nori ends up getting is one guaranteed year and a low
and below market,
below the market value.
Can I make a comedy analogy for this? From what it sounds like to me,
yes.
You guys will. I think you'll like this. There's a website called Gig Salad, where inevitably you're like, this is what a comedian costs. We all have a rough idea of what a comedian costs. A professional comedian costs this much or more, depending on if they can put asses in seats. I cost the bottom end of that range, and a guy like Andrew Rivers, get out your checkbook, start writing, because it's a lot of zeros at the end of that. But no, it's
a lot of zeros at the beginning too.
But. We all have like a rough idea of what we'd like to be paid, what our peers get paid, the people who are like actual working comics. What happens with Gig Salad is anybody that calls themselves a comic can submit a bid. And then inevitably what happens is somebody who really sucks puts in a bid for $100 and they deliver a really bad show to that person who doesn't understand why Andrew's show costs $38,000 and this person wants $100 for their show. Why there's a quality difference. I'm arguing there's probably not that big of a quality difference. But no, but you know what I mean? Like this feels like a thing where it's like a bad precedent. It's like being a scab in a union dispute, kind of like what I think people are mad about. Nori maybe isn't he might be years away from getting a job, so I understand why he would do it.
Yeah,
but it's like this dude in Portland seems like he's trying to come into a league where there is a union and there are like established standards and do this like tech disruption thing. Sometimes these things go really well. but usually when the disruption is like pay everyone less, make conditions worse, they don't go very well, right? Like
Right.
Paul Allen did that. He came in and he's like, okay, well, we can only pay players so much, so we're going to pay the shit out of coaches. We're going to make the facilities amazing. We're going to make people want to come here. That's the market advantage we can use my money for. This guy's like, well, my market advantage is I'm going to just slash costs at every turn, including the coach of the team. And he's just not going to get great quality talent for that position. If that's at least the threat, right?
Right. And his argument, I suspect, is something. I mean, his team in the NHL wins the Stanley Cup this year, and he hired that coach in a similar way, and that coach has been there 8 years, and he might just go, well, look, I have a model for doing this is how I do business, and it can work. And that remains to be seen or whatever. But or as we alluded to, and there's been rumors of, like, maybe he's fine with the team moving. If they, let me do all this, they aren't going to give me in a stadium because I'm doing all of this. It needs $600 million in renovations or remodel or whatever. And they don't give it to me, and then we bounce. But that's, I mean, there's not like any, that's just like, yeah, that's, I don't think there's any actual legitimate reports of him wanting to do that. But the writing was on the wall with Clay Bennett when he can't, no, I'll keep him here as long as they give me as long as they give me a new arena.
Meanwhile, every email was like, "Can't wait to move the team to Oklahoma."
Yeah. So I wonder what his emails are saying. Yeah, release the emails.
We sued them and went to court, and then we were like, you know what? We're about to win this lawsuit, but just give us a couple bucks and you can get out of here and
for folks
buy
that
my
are,
stickers.
If you're young enough to not, which it's crazy that now it's almost 20 years without the Sonics, so a huge chunk of the NBA fan base has never watched an NBA that included the Sonics. There's a movie called Sonicsgate that does a great job of explaining all the things that went wrong, and it's like you can blame Clay Bennett, and I do a lot. There was a lot of people to blame in that besides Clay Bennett. I'm not excusing anything from Clay Bennett.
Sure. No.
One of those guys is Aubrey McClendon, who like a couple years after that got discovered to have been defrauding some people through his firm and then drove his vehicle into a wall to kill himself. So he was the main money guy, by the way. Clay Bennett was the face. The money was Aubrey McClendon, and he was a fraudster. So like so many things had to go wrong, and so many just really shitty or misguided people had to get control of that team for it to happen. But
oh man, Aubrey McClendon, Aubrey Huff, my ex-wife Aubrey. Man, it's rough.
Speaking of loyalty over
great.
here, you're talking to the wrong guy about staying with one team forever.
that's true.
So I don't know. I just found it all interesting, but there's no reports. The report is JB Bickerstaff, who's the coach of the Pistons, is now the NBA Coach Association president, and he spoke out and was like, I don't know, this doesn't seem great. But then another coach, the coach of the Minnesota coach, was like, good for Nori, great for him. I don't see a problem with this. But also, he's not the NBA. He's not the labor.
Yeah. Well, and also
leader.
Of course, the association head, his job is to be like, everybody should get the most amount of money they can possibly get because it's a good precedent for the rest of the league. Right. The NFL Players Association used to get mad at Tom Brady for taking less money because it was like a bad precedent for an elite quarterback to take less money. So this is not incredibly surprising, but I also think it's one of those things where, like, if I'm this Nori guy, I've been this guy where you're like, well, I could go, host at this club and lose money and try to get it. And it's like not great, but maybe isn't the best labor practice to have a person. I never slept in my car, but like to have your staff sleeping in their car so that they can lose money on your gig, essentially your staff. But also like those are the opportunities. Those are the things that you can do if you're looking to actually figure out a career. And that's, hopefully this works out for the Nori guy, whether it's in Portland or not.
Yeah. Well, he was a Wolves assistant, so I guess that
Sure.
doesn't the Wolves coach is going to be like good for him.
This is many years ago. Gabriel Rutledge. First time I opened for him, he goes, I'd like you to open for me, but I got to tell you, he was very upfront. He goes, I'm going to pay you half of what you deserve because that's the only way that I will do the gig is if they pay me more money. So you can come with me, but it's half of the money that you would normally get if you did this gig. And I was like, fuck yeah, because I didn't need the money. So, he was very upfront with me, and it was like a great opportunity to meet a guy who's become one of my best friends, and the internet's treating him well, and things are getting better all the way around. So, do you want to talk about? This is my topic, but Sam Darnold was on Bussin' with the Boys. You ever watch this podcast, Bussin' with the Boys?
I only see a clip here and there.
You never,
clips.
Never watched it.
Yeah,
I've never watched a podcast. Period. But
interesting. As we do a video podcast, that's great.
I only listen to podcasts. I've never watched one ever, but I've seen clips.
It's interesting. It's Taylor Lewan and Will Compton. Both got. I think they became friends playing for the Tennessee Titans. Their podcast is based in Nashville. It's literally in a bus, which I like from an audio production perspective. I'm a fucking dork, dude. But I'm watching it. I'm like, God, to get all this into a bus, like they got lights and they got mics, and it's all just like very crammed, and it seems kind of comfortable.
Can travel. It can.
I'm sure that it technically can, but I don't think that it does. I think it sits in a. I actually think it even sits in a shop. I don't think it's like outdoors.
Gotcha.
I think it's basically just functions.
Plug
as
everything
a studio.
back in. No, move the microphone. The roadcaster got flipped over after we hit a speed bump, and
so I'm not like I'm not a. I watch like. Yeah, maybe like a couple of them a year. I'll watch a full one. I didn't watch the full Sam Darnold one, but Sam Darnold was on there. And he talked about a couple things. One was he talked about the process of becoming a free agent and the teams. He alluded to and kind of implied what the Vikings offered him. So if you're a Vikings fan, you can choose to take in that information and be mad or happy about it. And then talked about how Seattle was not the only other choice that he had, which maybe is valuable or not valuable to have that information. And then he also talked about this thing that is important to me because I've been trying to figure out how to make this topic and not make everybody that listens to this mad, including you guys. Because Sam Darnold was pretty bad the second half of last year. I know that he has this reputation of failing in the second half and not showing up in big games. And he shows up in the Rams playoff game. But if you look at his end of season stats, or his last several games, they weren't great, including I was texting you guys during the Super Bowl. He was struggling during the Super Bowl.
Sure.
I think I take offense to the word bad.
Okay.
He wasn't turning the ball over. He wasn't making bad mistakes. He certainly wasn't excelling. He wasn't pulling the bus necessarily. He was on the bus.
He was bussing with the boys.
He was bussing with the boys. But honestly, it reminded me of the Let Russell Wilson Cook season where he starts off amazing and then he has a couple shaky games and they go, we don't even need you to score 5 touchdowns. We just need you to not fuck up. And that is what we needed. I mean, we had the elite defense, and when it came time to make a difference, like in the NFC Championship game, he balled out and outscored the Rams. And so I think that that is a system managing him as needed, and it is less exciting football, but tell that to the big fat ring that I bought offline for $12 that's going to turn my hand green.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I do think that quarterbacks get too much credit and too much blame for Super Bowl victories and losses. And I am not saying that I think that the Seahawks should move on from Sam Darnold.
Geno Smith might be available for trade.
If you haven't seen it, folks, go check out Geno Smith's. Can we clarify this? Do you guys know for sure? I know he had a son that he was bragging about a lot. Is that the same lady? Is this the same child, or does Geno Smith now? Do we know he has multiple children?
I don't know.
Because Geno Smith got accused of watching porn and playing video games instead of playing with his son, I think.
Yeah.
And,
now let's talk about some of the bad things he's done. You know, let's.
Yeah, I want to.
He has one son, Seven Santana, who is currently 7 years old. Didn't Andre 3000 name his kid Seven or something like that too?
I think George Costanza wanted to, and then
Yeah,
guess
Seven
Seinfeld
Benjamin, Seven Serious Benjamin. Interesting.
I just remember 6 from Joey. What was that show called? Blossom.
Okay.
Remember 6? 6, 7.
By the way, this is the most boomery we've ever been on an episode, I think. We're just
Casey's
tra-
like, the
trading
kids,
blows.
they're naming the kids all wrong.
Yeah, the names.
So, 'cause
Yeah, I don't know. So
this
yeah,
lady
but-
apparently has 3 kids from 3 different NFL players. I don't know if she only has 3 kids, but I know that she has 3 kids from 3 separate NFL players, is what I understand from the brief amount of research I did. And it's just like, is this the lady that did he make her Mrs. Smith in Seattle? Or, because I remember when he had a kid and he was like but I also,
He's not married.
she said that that actually helps the,
He shares a son with a woman named Kennedy, who recently defended him against claims made by an alleged former girlfriend. So
okay, so maybe that's the,
TMZ has leaked text messages now. I didn't even see any of this.
Damn.
So
Wow, this should be the whole podcast. What are we doing?
I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna
darn
cry
it.
for 40 days and 40 nights if you leave. You said to tell you when I needed a break, and I need a break. I feel like I'm reading Corey's divorce text messages. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, I don't want to get.
Yeah. All right.
anyway.
I will say this is the thing that is because I was a big Geno fan, but then you go, like these are the things we never know about a player is
Sure.
like who he is off the field, where you see him being cocky on podcasts and you're like, is that a good cocky or is that a bad
Yeah.
cocky? Is he? And then obviously the Seahawks know him better, and he held out during training camp trying to get another contract, and they go, get the fuck out of here, and we'll replace you with this sweet ginger kid who's gonna be, loving father to somebody.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, when they made the swap, they trade Geno and signed Sam Darnold. I think I thought they were of similar quality, and Darnold was younger and cheaper, so to me it was like a no brainer. I'm the amount of like free fall quarterbacks that leave Seattle seem to go through before they finally hit a rock bottom after leaving Seattle is jarring, and I think that the whether or not you like, and I think everyone likes Darnold. I think I'm the only one that's even questioning it. Everyone's like has unbridled enthusiasm for him. What I'm not like completely sold on is the idea that he was the reason and that he would ever be the reason that the Seahawks win a Super Bowl. He's not so bad they can't win one. I think he contributes in positive ways. But I'm like, I do think it's possible that at some point in the next couple of years there's an upgrade available. Be that like if Jalen Milroe develops into something, or if for some reason they have and I think the Seahawks have structured his contract and the way they've handled the quarterback position since John Schneider came to Seattle has been so brilliant, where they've given themselves outs at every turn. They don't have to commit to Sam Darnold until next year. And then I'm sure when we finally see that extension, it'll be jarring that it's $55 million a year or whatever. But if it's for 3 or 4 years, they can get out of that deal relatively quickly.
If he has a similar season and we still win the Super Bowl, do you think he'll get a max contract, or do you think the Seahawks will give it to him?
I mean, a max contract, we're talking NBA terms once again.
Yeah, like a top 5 quarterback deal.
I think there's a chance that he gets like the 5th best. So the real question is he going to reset the market for quarterbacks? And I think there's like the chance. I don't think he's going to reset the market for quarterbacks.
He seemed very sweet on the thing where he was like, it's not about money, and
Sure.
which they all have to say, but
well, I mean, so out of like he signs the $100 million, $100+ million deal with Seattle. Out of that, he nets like $45 million probably.
Poor guy.
I know, but that is like at some point you're like,
I wonder how much I got. Hang on, I got a gig salad offer coming in. I got
Gig
46
salad. The tough thing about looking at, I mean, I haven't looked further than stats on Sam Darnold's season. The tough part about looking at his stats is there was an anomaly of a game in the second half where he has 4 interceptions and no touchdowns, and and we almost win that game against probably the second best team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So if
I think if you just look
stats,
after that,
if we pull that after that, he's 8. I think it's 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. 65%, or maybe 60 to 60 something percent without that game.
I think his completion percentage goes down after that. He has multiple games. I mean, here's the other deal though: is they go 7-0 in that stretch. They win 10 straight games into the.
Yeah.
So it's like I guess like I'm not saying he's certainly bad or there's evidence that he's bad. Mm-hmm. I'm saying that what he did in the second half of last season isn't to me conclusive that he is great and that he deserves to be paid.
Or fixed, yeah.
Right, but what I will say is I don't think the Seahawks necessarily are going to have a choice, especially if they go deep into the playoffs or win another Super Bowl this year. Like, yes, you have to bring that guy back because he hasn't done anything to show you that he's not that guy. And I'd probably bet on that more than I would
gamble on Brandon Sorsby next year.
Well, we. So it's a little different. It's a little different that it's not a supplemental draft because he's gonna get to come out and have like a full workout and compare himself to everybody else, and there's not this kind of opportunity to like almost redshirt him because he's starting a year late or whatever. Mm-hmm. I would be totally happy if the Seahawks draft a quarterback at some point in the draft next year. I don't think it's going to be in the first round. And if it's coming off of, if it follows by the way, the reason I don't think it's going to be in the first round is because they've acquired their Super Bowl winning quarterbacks in the third round and in free agency. They've acquired the other contributing quarterbacks, either like the incumbent Matt Hasselbeck or Geno Smith was like a several year backup. So, and even Drew Lock is a throw in the trade for Russell Wilson. So they're not going to take a guy in the first round. I'd be stoked. Anytime they acquire a quarterback, I think to me that's like a chance to get a great quarterback. And I just think it makes everything easier in the NFL when you have a great quarterback. And that's what I'm wondering is, do the Seahawks have a great quarterback? I don't think it's conclusive at this point. And they're probably going to have to pay him. If he's not great this year, they're going to have to pay him as though he is. And it'll be justifiable. I'm not going to be against it. But it's like, I'm still a little bit skeptical of if Sam Darnold is like really a star, or is he a guy who is serviceable and didn't make any mistakes in the play, or I wouldn't even say that. He played a pretty bad Super Bowl. He didn't officially turn the ball over, but like there's a stat that's like turnover or interception worthy throws or something.
Yeah.
Multiple. Like he got very lucky in the Super Bowl that he didn't have.
It's funny, the throws he picked out as his worst throws weren't even ones that I remembered. Because I just remember like the missed touchdown to JSN on the post and like a couple others, and I was like, oh, he has a completely different list of bad throws, which means he had a lot of bad throws.
Yeah.
Does he attribute it to anything? Does he? I didn't watch.
Well,
the clip.
I wonder.
Does he say Christian Gonzalez is amazing? Does he say
how long was he dealing with that oblique?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Did that come up sooner than we found out about it, as often is with players?
Yeah, that's possible.
Well, we'll see.
Well, I will say of this topic, this is largely.
And he lost Torrey Horton, who was his baller deep threat, and then him and Shaheed never quite got on the same page.
That'll be interesting to see this year. So he also said that the Vikings offered him. He didn't say this. Will Compton guessed, and it was like very obvious that he got very close to the actual
What
number.
An interesting number that is, or whatever.
Which was 1 year, $27.5 million. Which is like, I mean, I do think that is he's just such a bargain last year, and Minnesota for them to not be willing to pay whatever 3 years, $105 million or whatever it is.
100.5.
Yeah, 100.5. Like that's a tough look for a team
Who
that's
now
got
has-
this guy Kevin O'Connell who's supposed to be the guy, like the quarterback whisperer. And
Yeah.
can you whisper something to JJ?
I think you need to yell.
Raise your voice a little bit.
Time to get his attention.
I couldn't
Did they
hear him.
really believe in him? Like,
Kyler
was he
Murray's short
showing
enough.
something?
Kyler Murray's short enough. You might have to do some gentle parenting. Actually,
Get down on one knee now, honey. We don't throw to the other team.
all right. So let's talk about the Mariners. I don't know if this is even like this feels a little broken recordish to me. Today's game. This is a rare.
Can
time
I read
we
off
record
one of my
this.
tweets here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Boy, my 500 baseball team keeps winning and losing, and then winning and losing, and then winning and losing.
Yeah.
I didn't know you tweeted that. I do remember when
I
you
didn't
beta
tweet it,
tested it in our chat.
Put it on Facebook, but you get mad at me when I have a thought that I've previously thought of.
This is a rare day where this can be a post game show.
Yeah, I
the game
woke up
started at
and the game was in
9:30.
the sixth inning. I was like, this is nice.
Did you catch the beginning of the broadcast? Do you know anything about that? So they only had, when you were watching it, they had none of the graphics on screen. No strike zone superimposed. They only had the center field angle, and they had limited angles. They had to get a shot of when they did like the ABS, they had to get a camera shot of the scoreboard instead of like the inbuilt graphic. And at the beginning of this is like not even a joke. The first 4 innings or something like that, the broadcast was being done over, like it was a phone signal. So it sounded like 2 people having a phone call. I literally like switched
Hello,
off.
anybody
Yeah.
over there?
So they were having some technical difficulties, and it was interesting. They addressed them. Eventually the audio quality got back up to snuff, which I'm sure you heard. But then still didn't have, by the end of the game, they didn't have like the score bug or the count or whatever. And I will tell you, it was like driving me crazy. Some people on Twitter were like, "Oh, this is great. It's like old school baseball." And I think most of those people are boomers. Also, like they're definitely wearing Adidas fucking.
Why are these
soft
players
cushion shoes.
trading teams?
I guarantee you, anyone that loved today's baseball does not like how much carrying and euro stepping there is in the modern
Oof,
NBA.
yes. Yeah.
Do you like having because sometimes I look and some broadcasts don't have the strike zone overlay, and I'm always like, it's interesting to not get as mad at the umpire when you're like, that was obviously a ball or whatever. But
I thought I
prefer-
heard, and they might have not, like, because of popular. So no, I don't like it. I like the strike zone there. I thought I heard that part of the push for ABS was they would take that graphic off of the broadcast so that like there was less fan outrage. I don't think it would have worked, frankly. Especially like we have so much data now that to the pitch quantifies how bad every umpire is. Like I just don't think the outrage would have slowed down. And it's like, to me, it's such an insult to the fans to be like, we don't think you can handle this information, so we don't want to show it to you.
Well, we
I also-
go ahead, yeah.
Oh, I mean, I also think it's like taking information away from your fans that they've had for a long time is just like baseball's not doing a great job of keeping their fans and making new fans, and like to take that away from people who didn't play baseball and don't quite understand the strike zone perfectly or the angles and how they interact with the strike zone, the way it looks on screen. It's just like, I don't know. It seems like a bad idea to me.
Right.
Like on all fronts.
Well, most of our conversations about the Mariners has been about pitching and defense. And we can't really hit the ball very well.
11 games in a row with 3 runs or less.
So it's a bit of a mess. I mean, Miller goes 5 2/3 and gives up 2 home runs. There are 385-foot bombs, or whatever. I don't know how far they went out. I didn't see the actual home runs, but strikes out 11, only 5 hits. The next 2, I mean, we get 7 innings into the game almost, and have 3, are going up against 3 runs and just don't. I don't know. This is not even competitive. We're not even like. We don't
give you guys.
Yeah, we don't even get our first run to the 5th inning, and was that off their starter? I guess probably. I don't know. I assume so, but I don't know. We give us something, please. Against another 500 team, by the way.
I thought that I saw a breaking news that was going to be good, but I'm confirming it before I make myself look stupid. I thought I saw that Ref Snyder had been DFA'd, but I don't have
official.
I don't have official on that.
Well, they, in their start, they were going up against a guy who's got a 4.5 ERA, and I don't know. Our pitching, even though it's been complicated, you alluded to it in a tweet.
I'm about to read that tweet, okay? Let me read the tweet because we've talked a lot about the pitching. We've talked a lot about the piggyback. The offense has done a very nice thing for the 6-man rotation and the piggyback by being so bad that we're not talking about the piggyback and the 6-man rotation anymore. But I wanted to just show. I sent this to you guys. You guys both didn't give me a single response.
I was waiting for you to read it on the podcast so I could make fun of you.
Since the Mariners brought Bryce Miller off the IL on May 13th, and then I gave a bunch of editorialization, they are 2nd in baseball in starting pitching, Fangraphs WAR, 3rd in baseball in starting pitching, xFIP, which to me is the best park adjusted stat that you can, or not. It's not quite park adjusted, but it's like a good shorthand for. And it's on like an ERA scale. It's better than ERA. They're great in that, and they are 28th in the league in innings pitched by relief pitchers. A lot of the concern about the 6-man rotation is all this taxing it would do on the bullpen, and we've talked about how these guys kept getting injured. It's not because they're being overused. The Mariners are 28th in that span in innings pitched by relief pitchers, and 16 1/3 of those innings were by relief pitchers named Bryce Miller and Luis Castillo. And if those guys... who are piggybackers, and if you subtract that, those innings, they would be the 30th least, or the 30th most. They would be the least used bullpen in all of baseball. So, yes, Matt Brash got hurt. Andres Munoz has looked tough. None of it. The amount of shit that the piggyback is getting blamed for, to me, I'm blown away. This thing has worked incredibly well. The Mariners pitching staff, which was already pretty good, has gotten better since it got implemented, and they've done all this stuff with the 6-man rotation, and fans hate it. And I just don't understand. They hate it. They're not like, I don't like this, I'm uncomfortable with it, but it seems to be working. They're like, it's obviously a bad idea. I think I saw our mutual friend Jeremiah Coughlin say, if you're a fucking communist or something if you piggyback or something. I don't know, that maybe that's a positive for him. He's from Portland, but he said something negative about what piggybackers should do, and I just was like, it's worked so well for something people hate so much.
Well, the average fan doesn't even know what xFIP is, so I mean,
by the way, the only reason I brought it up is because they're 1st in ERA. In that stretch, their staff is 1st in ERA, but they play in a pitcher's ballpark, so it's not.
Let's do the more.
Speaking of average fans, by the way, we were going to have Casey explain one of these fancy pitching charts to us, but the Mariners are one of 3 teams with a positive run differential in the American League. Mm-hmm. So again, we've talked about this, but they just need to be 500 at the trade deadline and see what opportunities open up. And I don't know if that's going to be possible, but the pitching is good enough to keep them in it. JP still can't make routine throws from third base, but because
he literally, his max velocity throw this year is 79 miles an hour. He has no arm. He's a terrible defensive third baseman, and we'll see what it's like. Yeah, it's just I posted this, and I don't know if one of you guys liked it. Maybe Cory liked it,
but velocity isn't the issue. I mean, there will be guys lollygagging to first, and he takes 3 gather steps and lines up his throw, and Naylor still has to run into the guy.
Sure, that's a problem. Today there was one that should have been a routine double play that he doesn't. He doesn't get.
Yeah.
He made a play. He was shifted into the shortstop position the other day where he makes a double play, and he literally takes like 2 steps to his left, which is not impressive. Dives for a ball that an average shortstop would have just fielded cleanly, and like the whole world is like, "Oh, JP's a magician," and I'm like,
he glove shovels it.
Yeah. He makes this tremendous play because he has to. Because if he was had average,
Ball was
range
probably
for a
coming
shortstop.
out on its own, and he just accidentally pushed it towards the second baseman. It probably was lucky.
By the way, I love JP, and a couple weeks ago, Mina.
He's one of our best hitters.
He is, and a couple weeks ago, Mina Kimes, she interviewed Julio Rodriguez and asked like superlatives, like they were high school graduates, and he was like, "Who would you most want to be? Or who's the most likely to be a manager?" And he said J.P. Crawford, and I think that would be awesome. I think he's a smart dude. His athleticism
he
is
doesn't
gone.
want him to play anymore. He wants him on the bench. Is actually what he did.
Who would I most like to see as a manager tomorrow?
He did, by the way, say, "Who would you least like to date your sister?" And he said Cole Young, which that was surprising to me.
It was surprising.
Maybe Cole Young's a little whore. We don't know.
Oh, maybe his sister's 13. No answer to this.
Well, Cole Young might be the most age appropriate then.
That's a
Because he's
good
one of the
point.
few guys. Yeah. All right.
Well, we
nothing else.
stink, we suck. I hate them. It's,
Yeah.
No.
You were gonna explain some of these baseball
it,
charts to us idiots.
Yeah. Do you have the? I'll try to find the baseball chart real quick.
Should be in the thing. A couple
somewhere in the
scrolls
chat.
up here. Here
Put it towards the top. Glad we're ready for the. Yeah.
we go.
Did you? Did you?
Send it to put it at
You
the top?
bumped it. All I have is the shoe video that doesn't have audio on my side. Is it on Instagram or something? What? I don't know where. Okay.
It's in the group chat. I'll send it to you here. Text.
Here it is.
Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. Give us a moment, folks. Counting on my co-hosts to keep you guys.
Cory, flash your nipples real quick.
I only have one. Well,
Do you only have one nipple? Is that true?
no, God, no.
Oh, dang.
He would have wrote a bit about that. Come on.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
See
Wrote a
how
bit
well
about
Miles
it.
Weber's belly button did.
I would have flashed the whole. I would have done a overact out with it. Yeah. Well. Where are we at on this road
saved?
trip?
So it's the first 3 games. I don't know how long the road trip is.
I think we have I was looking at games to maybe go next week. I think we're back in town the beginning of next week. Yeah. So
Let's go yell at the team together.
6/29 is when we come back versus LA. So we
can't
also have
see
this
this
weird
fucking thing.
July 1st no game, even though we're in the middle of a series. I've never seen that before.
Ah,
Oh, that's interesting.
when's the All-Star break?
I almost accidentally shared our group chat. That would be tragic. That would be a
Uh-oh.
life ruiner.
Corey's gonna get canceled for sure.
All right. I think this
So
will
it's
be okay.
Andres Munoz.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ. All right, I got to take our thing off here. Nice to have this planned way in
You got your-
advance.
got your search
Yeah,
history
we can
there.
find out what
That's not
Cuckoo.
good.
Yeah, what he's googling
geez.
over there.
Hold on a second. Let's get that off of there.
Good sports opinions. We know he's not googling that. What do boomers think about the trade deadline?
I gotta
It's
figure out
just
how to. I don't know why I can't
old-
save this on my fucking.
Old cushy shoes. To your
Tracking
desktop and open it
notification
as a-
for Nike Air Pegasus.
Oh my god. Okay, yeah. I mean, we'll just have to do this on the next one because I'm like
Sure.
fighting. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
we're at an hour. Nobody's listening anymore. Mike, you there?
Wait, maybe hold on. Let's see. Let's see if it does it correctly.
Sorry, watching.
That's so much worse than.
Can't you move it?
No, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you make it full screen and then
that's what I did, and then it keeps breaking it out of full screen. Thank you, IT
right.
guy. Goddamn IT Andrew.
Right?
I know you're
Hey,
helpful.
I were you in charge of the Mariners broadcast this 2 days?
I'd like to get this on the screen on the Mariners broadcast. Yeah, we can talk about this next time. Because it's not really like super relevant to anything like timely, but
No.
I do think like if you guys wanna hear a dumbass explain to slightly more dumbasses what this chart means that you just briefly saw a corner of, then tune in next week to the Sports Seattle podcast.
In other conversations with my friends, I can pretend like I know what I'm talking about.
Hell yeah.
And then Cory will go through his my chart after that, so we can explain what's going wrong with him.
My
also.
dad just sent me his. That's funny. Where are we at locally, guys? You got anything local?
Well, Andrew and I are at the fair tomorrow, the fairgrounds for the Taste Northwest,
In the
whatever it's
rain.
called. Is it going to be in the rain tomorrow? We might actually have a good
It's
crowd.
covered.
Probably.
It's
covered,
by the
but
way,
I mean, you know,
I didn't say this today. This podcast is brought to you by the Tacoma Comedy Club, which is your best source of comedy in Tacoma, Washington. They are also sponsoring the Taste Northwest Comedy Tent, so come out to that. Come see Andrew and I. We are the first 2 shows of the night tomorrow. I don't know how that bodes for attendance. The one where they get to decide do they or do they not come, that hurts me quite a bit.
Future of the weekend. I'm the last show of the weekend on Sunday, so
Are you really?
see if anybody's left. I am.
I wish we could weigh the audience like when we go up, and then get some of those same people to come back for you and see how much they've gained at this Taste Northwest event.
That's not bad. That's a funny bit. You can say Tacoma Comedy Club's the best in Western Washington, even though my show's in Western Washington. It's okay.
I think their official thing is because they have part ownership of other places that they don't want to compete with. So
well, in Western Washington, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm there too. I got a couple Everett shows in June and July that are exciting. Pete Lee this Saturday in Everett, and Susan Rice in July in Everett on the 25th. I did a free giveaway idea I had, and it almost worked too well, so I had to start. I got like 100. You use your email list to try and sell tickets, and you send out an email and you sell 10 tickets, and you kind of go, I don't know about this email list, and then you try and give away free tickets, and you get 80 responses, and you go, oh, all right, well that's. So I've pushed those tickets out to shows that are in the summer, and anyway, yeah, vote for us on Best in the Pacific Northwest. Seattle Times is
Everett Comedy Night, not us, not this podcast.
Yeah, not the podcast. We aren't on there, but you can nominate anything. So I just nominated.
Give us a nom. Give us a nom.
Nom. That's what people are doing at the fair. Anywhere else?
This hot lady walked by. I was looking at the food.
I'll be at Tacoma Comedy Club July 3rd.
Yes.
Headlining. That'll be fun. A lot of this. It's the small club. Still a lot of tickets available, folks. So come on out to that. I know Andrew's shocked. What do you got, Andrew? What do you got coming up?
Oh.
I'm at the fair. I may be trying to replace Cory's Everett show with a competitor. I'll be at Emerald City Comedy Club July 16th through 18th, unless Mark Norman double books a feature again. But yeah, and then I'm doing a private show on Decatur Island. If anyone lives on an island where you can't get there.
And they want to sneak into a private show?
Yeah. So, yeah, if summer's real tough, please book me.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you next week.